and to erudite sports commentators talk.
Yeah.
You can go across the spectrum.
Which show is this? I must watch it. Tell me.
Oh God, no! Please don't.
If I may. It's going to take 2-3 minutes because you with ADHD stop twitching. You know how my dad came to me one day and said,
Yeah.
Is it Baba druggist money? Is it chemist and druggist? That's you mean somebody who sells medicines.
Oh.
Don't be silly. He's a druggist.
Drug addict.
There is no sledging in rugby. There is very, very, very cool banter, but none of it has any edge to it. And there's no time. By the time you start sledging,
You're
the guy's
breathe.
gone past you.
You're trying to breathe also.
I know your father, gone. When I broke my nose for the first time,
Yeah.
the prettiest girls in school, and I said Giselle because she would know all the girls because they were from her batch and in and around her batch. They were all around my hospital bed. And I was like,
How sweet.
so then I broke my nose 3 more times in the hope that
break it yourself.
every time I wouldn't
You'd go home and smack it
every
or
time I
something.
wouldn't get, I would just break my nose, but that didn't work after that. So you don't have to wait for the cricket bubble to burst for the rugby bubble to grow. I'll explain why.
That was the role. No, I'm kidding.
That's the interview.
That's the show. That's the
Please
show.
inform Saugad too.
Action stuff, yeah. Who's Saugad? You might as well tell us.
He's one of the young lads in charge of marketing.
Oh, okay. Let me do an introduction then.
Yes.
So Rahul is back with us. Rahul Bose, everybody knows. All 7 cameras are on you. But today we're going to talk heavily about rugby. And then, of course, if we have time, we'll quickly go into all the other pet...
About Bengali directors and how they
if you don't do impressions, I'll walk out. But I first, we've got some, there's an agenda. So let's stick to that and then we'll move to everything else. If you want to do the whole thing in a Bengali accent, can you do a Malu accent? I got 2 Malu boys here. Your Malu accent is also very funny. And please, nobody to get upset. Vishnu, will you judge his Malu accent?
Please don't crack jokes.
No. Good?
I remember I had a Malayali sound recordist who said, we can't take the short. I said, why? He said, because there's a red Maruti.
What?
There's a red Maruti.
What?
Maruti must be...
Yeah,
I'm thinking, I'm trying to go and get... I'm going there. I'm going, Maruti.
Red Maruti.
Is he cursing? There's a red Maruti something.
What?
Finally, I gave up.
Have you got it? Okay, one of them has got it.
It was a red Maruti car.
Oh, Vishnu didn't get it. Abhi got it. Abhi got it. Say swear.
Meanwhile, Vishnu's face is getting tighter and tighter.
He's
not finding this funny
He's
at all.
questioning whether he's Malayali because he didn't pick it up. Say it again. Red Maruti.
I only remember 2 words from that show.
Say it again.
Red Maruti.
Red Maruti.
Maruti.
Maruti with the
The.
Yeah, Maruti.
Dal ka the.
Red Maruti.
And he said cocaine.
For cocaine.
Well, I don't know what he was saying.
What the hell could it be?
So it was very instructive.
Okay.
But we had people from all over the world on that shoot.
Yeah.
Including Parsis, Mr. Broacha.
Yeah, who've murdered the language in their own way.
Yeah.
What Parsi has done to Hindi is beyond like sexual molestation. It's beautiful, no?
I mean, I can't even, and especially when they curse in Hindi.
Yeah.
I wish I could, but of course I can. But
Try.
No. You'll get me to jail before the rugby.
The
Premier
does and the
League.
does have to come in. That's it. The rest is all okay.
No, it's in fact the most Parsi way is when they curse in Hindi.
No, also when you take words which are difficult and awkward to listen to, like Bosadi in Hindi, which is a horrible word.
Can you say this?
You shouldn't say this, but you shouldn't say this, but we've said it. But I'm saying when you say it in a sweet way, it kills the gali only. It just sounds wrong.
No. My experience with Parsi has not been sweet.
Yeah.
It suddenly gets very aggressive. What the hell? Like that it gets, And it gets very flustered and everything starts jittering and the jowls start vibrating. Now imagine Hindi.
Very communal comments are being made.
Imagine-
First Malu, now
imagine-
Parsi.
imagine-
I'm walking out of this interview, yeah.
Imagine Hindi bad language.
Oh, I love it.
Listen, by the way, I did the Bengali thing last time.
Yeah.
And now,
You have to even it out. Yeah.
there's a target on my forehead.
So TMC has now offered you the membership for the next election. Okay, let's get to rugby quickly before we can take off forever otherwise. So it's called the Rugby Premier League. 15 June to 29 June, 2 weeks. Rahul's pet project. From what I've been told, last 7-8 years you worked on this. It's a great idea actually when you think about it. I don't know if you mentioned it last time, but it's a great idea because all these Premier League thingies which are shorter, more populist sort of versions of the sport, sevens, etc. Maybe the best way to market it.
So, in my research, and I'm just going to cut straight to the chase,
Hanji.
because otherwise I'll sound like one of those professors.
If it gets boring and serious, yeah.
1998. You know, I
Can
can't
you do
that.
Boria? Because I see your Boria interview. Please do Boria.
I've got
ADHD. We'll keep going all over the place.
So,
do Boria for 1 minute, then we go back
I
to
can't
rugby.
do it.
You have to do Boria. Boria's a legend. He won't mind. Yeah.
Okay, let me think about it. I'll do
We'll
Boria
come back
later.
to Boria. We give you Boria at some point. Yeah.
There are 3 non-negotiables for a league in today's world. One is, I believe it has to be a team sport. Because leagues become popular through franchises.
Right.
Okay, nobody says, oh, this league, they go this club or this team.
Yeah.
And the franchises are built on tribalism, loyalty, and a kind of culture of the team that you vibe. It's my kind of team, you know what I mean? It's got my kind of personality. This is all in your imagination, but it works. So first thing is it should be a team sport. Second is it should be really short. It cannot be long.
Vulgar gesture, but yes, I understand.
Yeah, so I just want to say that, Cyrus.
No, don't lose your thought. You're right, because the modern world, I mean, the shorter the better, let's be honest.
And no, not just short, but it has to be full of what the broadcasters call events. So I'll explain. In a sevens game, which is 14 minutes, in our format 16 minutes, there's a score every 1.5 to 2 minutes. So there's really no time for you to get bored. And in between those 1.5 to 2 minutes, there are events. Somebody's getting smashed. Somebody's
Tackle.
breaking through, etc., etc. So I remember this very aged, very respected politician who was watching a game of rugby with me. After some time, turned to me in panic and said, "बच्चे यहाँ पे तो सांस देने के लिए भी समय नहीं होता है." So the second thing is it has to be short and full of events. And the third thing is that it has to be incredibly good on television. So in television, what happens is that Cyrus is watching, and Cyrus's wife, if you guys are still together, Cyrus's wife or Cyrus's family is passing by.
Drive my red Maruti out of here. Maruti.
Maruti. And you have to attract that person. What is that? You have 30, 40 seconds.
Yeah.
For him or her to sit down and say, okay, this is quite cool. That is what, and this has got nothing to do with what I have done, Rugby India has done, or RPL has done. The game of sevens rugby is phenomenally exciting.
Yeah.
These are the 3 non-negotiables. Once you have these 3 in place, only then should you venture into having a league.
But also, across the world, there have been, the sevens has worked better, is it?
Let me add a
Visually?
fourth. I just remembered.
Go ahead.
It should not be inferior to anything I can get on television over the next 2 or 3 months in that sport. So that means I'm not going to watch this because it's got has-beens and retired guys. I'm going to wait for a week and I'm going to watch the great stuff.
Yeah.
Sometimes it even happens simultaneously in other sports. Whereas here, because we got the best players on the planet, I mean, Sai, I'm not joking. These are the best players on the planet who are
So
here.
just explain the setup for us,
Yeah.
for as a person who's going to, a lot of people for the first time going to virginal rugby player, watchers, spectators. So we've got, as you say, how many teams firstly?
6.
6 teams.
Mumbai,
and-
Hyderabad, Chennai, Bangalore, Bhubaneswar, Delhi.
Yeah, I think that's right. We can count back.
Mumbai,
Slowly.
Mumbai, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai, Bhubaneswar, Delhi.
Delhi, okay. 6, and obviously it'll grow, so there'll be more. 7 aside, how many foreigners allowed?
So 13 people in a team,
Yeah.
7 on the field,
Yeah.
8 foreigners, 5 Indians. The reverse of the IPL, because we don't have
Okay.
Indians of world-class stature.
Fair,
right?
fair.
And in the 8 foreigners, Cyrus, 5 are the best in the world.
Yeah.
3 are bridge players
Yeah.
from Germany, Hong Kong, Canada. And I don't mean to demean them.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just very important to create a rugby continuity on the field.
Right.
Number one, because we have our quarters for 4 minutes each, you can get by even, you won't be able to spot the difference. If you went longer, you'd be able to spot the
How many
difference.
can you sub?
All.
You can sub all?
Yeah, you can go
So
for it.
everyone can play?
Yeah.
And is there any, like you have in cricket and other sports, the Indian number has to be so much and all that?
Yes. On the field.
Out of the 7?
On the field,
Yeah.
2 marquee players who we're calling the top players,
The top of the line.
2
yeah.
bridge players,
Okay.
and 2 Indian players.
Okay.
The 7th one can be from any of the 3
so
pools.
two minimum of each of the 3 different
To
departments.
ensure rugby continuity.
I like it. I think it's a great idea because I was wondering about that. There's a gulf between the superstars and some of our boys.
Correct.
Then that would be.
But I'll tell you one thing, I've been watching training
Yeah.
of all these 6 teams. They've been training for the last
Yeah,
10 days. Over 4 minutes, Cyrus, our boys are pretty damn there.
Yeah. Are they able to tackle the big guns and all that?
That's the only thing I haven't seen because
Yeah.
in training they don't get physical.
Right.
Just like you and I.
But they'll have to.
Huh?
Once they're on the field, they'll have to.
Yes.
But I guess they'll get. It's a bit like county cricket. Think about it this way. all the teams, all the players that went in the 50s, 60s, 70s, they started getting better for their teams. Like you look at Pakistan and West Indies especially, to some extent India,
Yes.
they got crack teams because of all the county experience.
Yes.
So in a sense, you're getting that experience, of course reverse because it's us, but we control it. And then in a sense, you get these powerful players on and the market rises.
Yeah, I remember very clearly, I think Rahul went to England. And did he play for Hampshire? Who did Rahul play for? Dravid.
Dravid. Who did Dravid play for in England?
I might be completely wrong.
I can tell you about Ravi and Sunny and all that, but I can't remember all.
But some cricketers have had a very not a great success, but it's always been a kind of a learning, testing
Exactly.
experience. Yeah.
I was thinking we'd keep Pujara on the side with all this happening because of his county experience.
Are we done with rugby and we're moving on to cricket?
Sorry,
now?
come back to rugby. But there's a metaphor, there's a parallel, there's things to be drawn here. When two erudite sports commentators talk,
Yeah.
you can go across the spectrum.
Which
a
show
little
is this? I must watch it. Tell me.
bit. Oh, God, no, please don't. You don't have time. You're trying to build a rugby world here. Don't watch this show.
So, yeah. So,
So
13.
let's set it up again. So two of these super foreigners, two of what he calls the
bridge players.
The bridge players, who are, is it fair to say, between the foreigners and the Indians for now?
Yes.
And then two Indian boys
But
who...
could very well become marquee players tomorrow because they're supremely
Correct,
talented.
correct.
And two Indian players.
And who's the coach then? So all foreign?
So this is where we pulled a rabbit out of a hat side. So, if I may, it's
Yeah.
going to take 2-3 minutes because you with ADHD, stop twitching. Just listen.
I can't stop twitching.
So, the IPL 18 years ago, if I'm not wrong, got a window from the ICC.
Right.
A 45-day window where
Correct.
no cricket was being played anywhere in the world. Now it doesn't exist, but in that time.
Yeah.
So we've been in consultation with World Rugby, our world body, for the last 2 years. And we got a window. When we got so right now there's no sevens rugby being played of this caliber anywhere on the planet. Then they said, look, we've given you the window. Now you get the players. So I went and met 23 of the top players in the world in Perth during the HSBC 7 series. They asked me 4 questions. When is it? Oh, we're free. Where is it? Oh, that looks good. How much are you paying us? Oh, you're paying us top dollar. And the last question, which is the one, is that all elite sports persons are and should be snobs. This is who are the coaches. What we had done was we hadn't waited for the franchises to hire coaches. We had hired 6 of the top coaches in the world.
And you will decide who coaches who.
No, that happened later on.
Okay.
That happened in
So
a
they
draft.
choose the coach as well. Then from the pool that you
We
give it.
chose the pool.
Yeah.
So when we told the players that Tomasi Kama from New Zealand and Ben Gollings from England, blah, 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 they were like, you're not messing around. No, we're not messing around. That is when they said we're on.
Is it true that my friend Neil White was one of the coaches, but you last minute realized that he can't bend?
No. He is one of the 6. In fact, he's the head coach of these 6 coaches.
Yeah.
These 6 coaches
Yeah.
who have won Olympic golds,
Yeah.
World Championships, and World Cups.
Yeah.
At least 10 of them business. Neil White is
All
good.
right. I back off. I've resigned. It's done. I moved
So
on.
once we got the coaches and the players, we then, the GMR partnership with GMR Sports happened after that. But that is how we unlocked this whole deal.
But so the coaches, the foreign coaches, are all from big teams, right, across the world.
They're 6 of the best coaches on the planet.
Absolute best.
Yeah.
So this is just great for Indian rugby. I'm saying you're exposing them to just straight away the best in the world, best players, whatever you want to call these middle of the line players.
Bridge.
As you said, they're potentially great players as well.
Yes.
So they're just absorbing everything which is great in rugby for a season. And
So
then-
what's going to happen now, if a league is run well?
Yeah.
If a league is run well, there are 2 engines. Number one, as soon as June 29th, Sunday to Sunday, 15
Right.
days, as soon as June 29th gets over, these guys are going to go, all 6 team owners are going to go, we want to win next year. So they're going to send their scouts all over the country. Just because you have a team in Chennai doesn't mean you can't go to Chandigarh and look for people.
Correct.
Notice the alliteration.
I love it.
So there'll be 35 brought to Chennai, 35 brought to Bhubaneswar, 35 to
I
Hyderabad.
want alliteration again. Bhubaneswar. I thought you're in trouble now. Chur.
So 200 players, and they're going to go, okay, now we've got the players in. Where's the sports science center? Where's the rehab center? Who's the strength and conditioning coach? Where's the ground? So there'll be 6 mini infrastructures of rugby with 6 mini hirings going on of these various people.
But you can start an academy, right? Immediately.
Yeah.
That would be the next step.
Yeah.
Where the Indian pool gets, to stay together.
If the 6 team owners pool in their funds
Yeah.
and start an academy, that would be game changing.
I think so.
So what will happen then is that this is the internal engine. The external engine is very simple. Between 10 to 50 million people are going to be watching this on Jio Hotstar, depending on the numbers. And the already we have sponsors coming in and saying, we'd like to get a slice of the Rugby Premier League pie because it's going to be on Jio Hotstar and it's going to 120 countries on Rugby Pass TV, World Rugby's internet feed. But we would also like to donate some money to Rugby India. We'd like to do this for rugby. So there's going to be an osmosis between RPL and Rugby India that's going to be so beneficial financially. So make no mistake, we're hardly making any money from this as Rugby India. It's not a money making.
Although you've got some spiffing clothes here, which I should have asked you in the beginning. Why is Rahul dressed like he's going for an interview in one of the global banks of South Bombay? But clearly,
first of all, they're on loan.
Oh,
okay. And I'd like you to be very, very careful about this because it's a sensitive issue.
Yeah.
They're on loan.
Yeah.
And I only have 1 hour before I have to return them.
Okay.
So if you overshoot beyond that, then I'm going to have
to take them off.
Yeah, they'll come here and just, you know how loan people are. They come into the studio, slap you around, and take you and take
the tie.
whatever.
Keep the tie on. Whatever happens, keep the tie on. Yeah.
It's not long enough to.
Unlike Mr. Trump, Donald Trump. Hey, what's your view on that? Elon Musk, Donald Trump spat. Sorry to segue from rugby completely, but he's a South African, so
it's
rugby.
It's like two roller coasters heading for each other.
Yeah.
And the roller coaster guys have gone. They've gone. Somebody's having a cup of tea. Someone's
There's
chilling
no one
out.
running it.
There's no one running. It's just gone mad.
Yeah.
So the roller coaster now is flying off the roll. It's flown off. Now you have to pause the film and say what's going to happen next, because it truly is two extremely what's the word? Strong-willed, opinionated,
Spoilt.
Powerful.
Yeah.
Powerful human beings who right now, I don't know how long that this hurtling is going to go on for.
Mm-hmm.
Can we go back to the rugby?
We must.
Okay.
But Elon Musk is a big supporter of rugby, just by the way. Reach out to him as well. He's South African, all said and done. And that was his favorite sport. But, that's a subject for another day, because now he's immersed in going to the moon and things like that. Little cuckoo, if you ask me.
Mars.
Sorry, moon's been done.
Something or the other. Something up there.
Somewhere. Yeah. After the 32nd floor, I don't even know.
I mean, astronomy, who cares?
I mean, can write anything on paper and tell me.
Yeah. Look, Mikal, that's the moon.
Yeah.
No, that's not the moon. Seriously.
No, that's your aunt. Walking on the terrace.
And.
Back to RPL. And?
Aunt is and.
Oh, and. But with no.
D, with a D.
But this is what, Mallu?
And. You know how my dad came to me one day and said,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's the blue story I've told you.
Blue you've told us.
But he's a druggist.
Yeah.
I said, Baba, druggist, man? He's a chemist and druggist. That's somebody who sells medicines.
Oh.
Don't be silly. He's a druggist.
Drug addict.
Yeah.
Who's the guy?
You know the library story I told you?
No, tell us.
He said, why are you reading book? I said, why not? It's a good one. It's Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger. Kolkata, there was a culture of a circulating library. Parate, there has to be a circulating library. Some rich fella's house, he used to get the books and keep there. So I said, great. He said, yes, we also had circulating library in our... I said, wonderful, what a lovely culture. He said, yeah, it's the best library in the world. I said, what? So he looked at me, what? I said, did you say best library in the world? In the world?
Yeah.
What about Alexandria?
Yeah.
He said, it's in Kolkata. Just that.
Appropriate.
Yeah.
Just take it.
If there's a library and it's in Kolkata, it's the best library in the world.
God knows what Alexandria is like up now. It's burned down and no one's looking after it.
Who cares? So anyway, back.
Back to RPL. Yeah.
So
we have to ask a big question before you go back, which is if you're a spectator and you want to watch it live.
Yes.
Because rugby is also, for those who don't know, one of those sports, it's contact sport, it's probably at its highest. So you want to, if you watch it live, it's a whole different feeling, when people are smacking into each other at full pace.
But sevens is super easy to understand.
Yeah.
Here's true story.
Can you give us a short...
true story.
Yeah.
The broadcasters came to the Hong Kong Sevens to watch, because after all, they're the key guys.
Correct.
I didn't say a word. I waited for about half an hour, 40 minutes. They watched 3 games. Each game is about 15, 20 minutes. I said, what do you think? They're like, it's so easy to understand. I said, no, well, what have you understood? You have the ball. You run forward. You keep passing with your teammates. You evade the other guys. Okay? If someone comes in your way, you smash them and keep going. And you put the ball down across that line. I said, okay. And what if they have the ball? Smash them. If they smash them, take the ball, get up and run. And I thought to myself, Cyrus, yeah.
Fundamentally,
Literally, yeah. So now we've created which you will see my wonderful visage on social media, where it says run, pass, kick, tackle,
Back pass.
score. Yeah, so I've explained that.
That's a big tough one for some of the boys.
The broadcaster didn't even realize it. I said, did you realize that you can't pass the ball forward in rugby?
yeah.
He said, no, they were all running together. They were passing and they were moving forward. So it never struck him. And you hardly kick in sevens rugby. So the kick is, if at all, it's there once in every 10 games. But you kick
Really?
forward. No one kicks in sevens rugby.
Like the whole game, no kick?
Yeah.
Wow.
Very, very, very rare. Very rare. I mean, you might dribble it forward
Yeah.
in between, grub it forward in between two, just to make a bit of space and then pick it up and keep running again. But those, the whole
Long
culture
kicks,
of
long
15
kicks
rugby,
won't
that's
happen,
not there. So run, pass, kick, tackle, score. If people get this in the first year, that's all they need. They need nothing else to do. So it's not that we are dumbing down the game. We have World Rugby commentators. We have World Rugby Match Commissioner, World Rugby Medical Commissioner. It's an internationally recognized tournament by the World Rugby.
Do you have dancing girls?
We have you.
IPL started with dancing girls. I'm just thinking from a point of view.
Yeah.
Not that dancing boys, whatever. I mean, let's not label it as one thing.
Exactly.
Dancing people.
Exactly.
Dancing types.
Yeah.
Everyone's welcome.
Yeah. And we have you.
Yeah, and we have me.
That's why I'm here.
No, but tell them.
Cyrus,
No, I'm saying to see it live.
we'll need one rehearsal on the 14th
Yeah.
for you to come and just dance. And on the 15th, we'll start. It's a 15-day gig. It's 2 hours.
And they went for me, which just tells you class is class. You can't mistake
No,
it.
it's not class, it's rhythm.
It's rhythm, class, talent, all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're born with that. When people see you, they say, there goes a dancer.
Okay, I'm going to come back now because you're just lampooning my beautiful self. If I watch it or if somebody comes to watch it, we're sitting for how long?
You're sitting to watch 2 games. It'll take you...
Oh, they're back to back.
Yeah.
And 3 games on the weekend.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you'll have hour and a half.
So you suppose what time are we starting?
Technically, it's 7:30 to 9:30 or 9:45. Okay. Technically, but that's the broadcast time. But if you're there live, the first game starts at 7:45 to 8:15. The next game is 8:30 to 9 o'clock.
Okay.
Pretty simple.
Fair. So in a couple of hours, you get to see 2
Absolutely.
high-octane games of rugby.
Yes.
Possibly the most action in sport that you can get for a short period of time. Because even cricket is stop-start.
Without a shadow of doubt. Tell me which one can match this. This is, as somebody said, this is literally a mixture of sprinting and kabaddi together.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a football field with 14 people.
I feel kabaddi, not to put down the game, beautiful game and all that, but I feel it's very loving. I just feel that the tackling in kabaddi is a bit more loving and affectionate, and the tackling in rugby is a little bit more aggressive, and maybe it's the Western thing.
No, it's
they're
just
unfriendly.
It's just the speed. When you're static,
Yeah.
how hard can you tackle somebody?
That's
You have to
true.
build momentum over 2.5 feet or 3 feet.
Yeah.
When you're running at 200 kilometers per hour,
You can hear the sound also,
Yeah.
good tackles.
yeah, and you can actually hear it. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, we're saying that like it's a joke, but it's scary actually when you hear it come attack, and somebody's
Yeah.
just looking at their leg or arm or.
have you watched the ads that we've released on social media?
I don't even have a phone, Rahul. Times have been very hard. I just see the hoardings of all our, politicians, and as I drive by, and I feel happy.
One sec.
Who's calling you?
I think we can lower the rates for Cyrus's dancing because he's in a bad way. We can exploit him. Yeah. We can give him food.
Yeah. And parking for my red Maruti.
Mardi.
Maruti. Hey, Vishnu, तेरे को ही नहीं आता है बेंचोद.
And
Maruti.
and if his hand comes, then we'll
If my hand comes. Yeah. So it's and price of tickets and how do you buy it? And stuff?
49 rupees off.
$49. That's it.
Yeah, 49 to 99, I think.
That's a steal.
Cyrus,
You just try to encourage them to come. Yeah.
we're not. This is not that kind of a money-making gig. It's
No, not yet.
what we wanted. So we should talk about the team owners, not by name.
Please tell us. So who are the team owners?
So
Or rather, who owns the?
We went to team owners, and we were absolutely sure we are not going to exaggerate or prettify the financial returns from any league, which is what everybody does. I've seen some league proposals, and you'll be shocked. Oh, you'll get your money back in year 2. By year 3, you'll make a profit. By year 5, you'll be making billions. By year 10, you'll be able to fund
Own your own
Cyrus's
country.
dancing gig. So we said, these guys are millionaires, if not billionaires. Who are you trying to fool? Just tell them the truth. And we did. So what happened is that the team owners we've got are the ones who are passionate, wise, and chilled. They're like, we know the score. So Ranjan Pai, from the group in Bangalore that owns the Manipal hospitals and universities.
The Pai family, yeah,
yes,
huge.
Yes. Then there's the people who have Dream 11 here in Mumbai.
Yeah.
They've got a team called Mumbai Dreamers. Harsh Jain and his entire team.
Okay.
We've got the RMZ group from Delhi Reds that has a big real estate firm that has its major interests in Delhi, although they are Bangalore based. So we've got team owners who are passionate, but when you look at them, you don't feel stressed that, oh God, we promised them that they're going to be funding their whole generation of children through this in the next year. So,
but having said that, I'm not going to put you,
on the
spot
you
here.
can.
No, but if the thing is successful, there's no saying where you can go. Because I also think at some point the cricket bubble will burst. I just feel that at some point.
So you don't have to wait for the cricket bubble to burst for the rugby bubble to grow. I'll explain why. This is a sport that's played in 120 countries.
Yep.
What kind of broadcasting rights are you looking at tomorrow? If you're creating a world-class product, and at this point of time we are in discussions with 14 countries to broadcast, the money will be very little, but it'll go to 14 countries. Imagine next year, when they see these names, and if this catches fire with the world rugby community, we've had already proposals to have an RPL outside India. Said, you have a great Indian diaspora in South Africa, you have it in England, why can't you have one?
Nice.
You see,
So won't that cannibalize the product?
I am not interested in the problem of cannibalization more than the fact that we have created the RPL. The beating heart of the RPL is to transform and accelerate the transformation of Indian rugby. That's where it's at. So I've made no bones about it to the international players also. And they've bought into the idea that 20 years from now, when you look back, they'll say, this is where it started from. The world classification of it was accelerated through the Rugby Premier League. The federation will always do 20 times more work than that. That's the real hard, unglamorous work. But to capitalize on what kind of push this sport will give us financially.
But Kabaddi might even help you slightly.
Yes.
In a sense that it's like like you said, a bridge between other sports and a real contact sport.
Yes.
Oh, it is also a real contact sport. I'm saying it's a way for Indians to get hooked a little bit.
Yes.
Say, okay, we've got Kabaddi and more.
You're absolutely right. We have Farhan, Tiger and Abhishek have done the promos.
Tiger is a human being.
Yes.
Sometimes people don't understand that. Yeah, because you just threw it at me and I got scared.
Tiger Shroff is a wonderful guy.
I love the guy.
Farhan and Abhishek.
But his real name is not Tiger. If you see the Aadhaar card, there's no Tiger.
I don't know.
I'm telling you.
Okay.
I want to expose all the truth.
Can we move on?
Let's move on.
I was going to say something very nice about this. And I will continue.
No, please, he's a lovely guy. Tiger, we love you. Having some fun. Huh?
I presume you haven't heard the anthem also. Your preparation for an interview... Your preparation for an interview is so intense, so rigorous.
My aunt was not letting me
and finally so respectful. It's just.
I only want you to do Boria Majumdar's
it brings tears
impression.
to my eyes.
Yeah.
Finally, I just want to say that...
Listen, I watched Boria's interview with you.
Keep very quiet
But
right now.
I was listening to him more. Because he sounded like he invented rugby by the third minute. It was very sweet. Huh.
Are Boria and you friends?
No, yeah.
I don't think so. Not after this
No.
interview.
He doesn't mind little leg pulling. Come on, he's Boria. For God's sake. Yeah.
There's one promo we've done where they say, run like a sprinter, and you have a rugby guy sprinting, and you cut to a proper sprinter. Pass like a basketballer. Tackle like a kabaddi player. Kick like a footballer. Walk like a winner. So in these 4 clips, you see the 4 skills you need. You kick like a footballer, run like a sprinter, tackle, and we've actually shown these sports.
Yeah.
And score like a diver. So that's got a lot of traction because it's so easy. That's what the sport's about.
Hey, the sledging will change completely, because you have 4
There's
5
no
languages.
sledging in rugby.
Come on, in the scrums and all. I've seen them.
Cyrus,
they run those things on YouTube. That's all I watch.
There is no sledging in rugby. There is very, very, very cool banter, but none of it has any edge to it. And there's no time. By the time you start sledging, the guy's gone past you.
You're trying to breathe also.
I know your father, gone.
Rahul Bose never sledged someone when he was playing.
Huh?
You never sledged someone when you were playing? You must have had some fun. Come on. What was the worst thing you said?
I'm going to make you a dancer in the RPL.
No, not when you were angry. More when you were trying to, G up a guy or get under his skin or something like that. No? Can't say?
Huh? Yeah.
Politically incorrect?
It's just, there's been heat. In the days when I
can't believe it. I mean, if you think of cricket and sports like that, people are getting angry. Here you're physically hitting each other.
The truth is, Cyrus, no matter how angry you get, because there's no time in the game. You have to bottle it up for later. And later there's nothing left.
Later everybody's happy.
Literally. I mean, you honestly don't have the time to to get aggressive, and there might be a bit of this kind of thing and this kind of thing, and then you're down. The next move has started. So there really is no time.
There's one question that keeps coming up on our live email feed. Just pretend we have a live email feed, and it says, "Do rugby players have abdi guards?"
No.
So, but they have the tooth thing, the gum guard. I've seen that.
That's soft.
That's allowed.
Yes.
Sometimes they have stuff on their nose. That's allowed.
Yeah, which doesn't protect you at all.
Waste of time.
Waste of time.
But they aren't allowed abdi guards.
No.
Which is the most dangerous thing in a sense.
Yeah,
By accident, you can get hit.
I can only imagine that it would be dangerous to the tackler also.
Fair, but
Face, nose, arm, shoulder.
before you marry a rugby player, just make sure. Got to check all these things.
You know why I'm single now.
You've been a naughty scrum half, I can tell you that. I've been following your life over the years. We'll take a quick break because Rahul has to go. He's in the middle of promotions. Putting this whole thing together is not a joke. Going on for the last, I've consumed it for quite a year
I've
now.
been working about maybe 15 hours a day for 2 years.
For 2 years on this project. And the idea germinated about 5-6 years ago.
About 7 years ago, when I began to think about, and this is very seriously, and we'll take a break in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Indian cricket 1932, C.K. Naidu.
Yeah?
1971, first significant series victory.
West Indies.
40 years later,
Yeah.
in a pool of 8 nations.
Correct?
Now, we have 120 nations.
8 nations, yeah.
How are you going to break into the top 25% of 120 nations? It'll take you about 80, 90, 100 years.
Yeah.
I'll live for another 50, 60 years. No. You get my point.
Sweet.
So I'm like, I'm not going to wait that long.
Yeah.
How do we compress the timeline? And the compression of the timeline happens with a successful league.
But also India is far more powerful economically, which is what you can exploit as well. And you are then say 32 to 71. But we were struggling. We were behind the ball all the time. But here the entrepreneurs are here, corporates are here. So
Exactly.
You have some advantages.
You're absolutely right. Yeah.
Yeah.
We can take a break now.
We'll take a break. Bro, he's just bullying me. Whatever he wants to do, we're doing. Rahul Bose.
Did you know Indians report nearly 800 cases of online financial fraud every day, which has resulted in losses exceeding 1,000 crores in the last 5 years? To keep you safe from such fraud, I am starting my newest podcast series, Conversation with Vigilante, an initiative by HDFC Bank. In every episode, I will feature special guests who can share expert insights on the different types of fraud, their modus operandi, and how you can protect your money. Stay safe, stay vigilant, and don't forget to tune into Conversation with Vigilante. Catch the episodes on all audio streaming platforms and V for Vigilante YouTube channel.
Back here with Rahul Bose. What you don't know, you do know. I'm sure you know by now. Poster boy for Indian rugby. We also played rugby. President of the Rugby India Federation. So it's all on your head. Played rugby for how many years?
For India? 11 years for India, but active till
From the age of 15?
30 years. 30, 37 years.
I think 2-3 years back
Yeah.
I saw you playing.
Yeah. No, I can still, socially I'll play.
Yeah. What is socially? As in a fun game.
Yeah.
But you won't play competitive rugby.
Yeah.
Yeah. But 30-40 years of playing rugby.
Yeah.
And a cricket lover first.
Yes, and a cricket player first.
Cricket player, bowler as well.
Yes, opening the bowling for school.
Left arm swing. He says he could move the ball like Jasprit at, in any conditions.
Yeah, that's me, right? That's
But,
the kind of person you know I am.
Yeah, but I'm
me,
not.
I could move the ball like Jasprit one way or the other because that's the way I talk. That is my
Did you-
personality.
But I've never seen your action. Was it a smooth action? Or?
Very smooth.
Yeah?
Had to be.
Very classical.
5'6", had to be.
Ah, fair. And side on?
Side on, very athletic and least pressure on the
Do
body.
you have a jump like Brett Lee, Imran Khan,
No.
that kind of thing?
No.
Oh, no jump, so no advantage.
No, it wasn't a Wasim Akram non-jump
Yeah,
slide.
yeah. But
it
he's
was
6'3".
Yeah, it was somewhere in between.
Harold Larwood was only 5'8". People don't know that. This height thing is overrated in fast bowling.
No, I think at 5'6" it's definitely correctly rated.
You think?
Yeah.
You weren't
5'6",
quick?
What do you want to do? Huh?
You were quick. Off
Off
the wicket, like Ajit Agarkar.
if-
Off the wicket, very fast.
I think
very
I
tall.
was. I wasn't slow. I wasn't slow, but looking at me, you wouldn't think the ball would come up in such a hurry. I'm
Yeah.
talking about school cricket, please.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah,
not get
yeah.
carried away here. But what I was good with was outside the off stump.
Getting the ball to
The length,
the
and
metronome
to move it
quality.
in and to move it out.
Oh, you could move it both ways. Naughty boy. Moved it both ways. Excellent. All right. It's not a cricket show, it's a rugby show. I was just mentioning because your not second love, but you discovered rugby after cricket. And then you sort of switched to rugby. And then, of course, I think you had to play that and nothing else because...
No, I played it for 3 reasons.
Yeah.
Number one, it was the first sport I'd ever played where I could legitimately get dirty and my Bengali father wouldn't be horrified, by the fact that...
What did he say?
Kada, he was still horrified, but it was legitimate. It wasn't like...
Did he play rugby ever? But I don't know. You have to tell us. So what was his reaction? Because it is an odd sport for slightly more,
Again, you got
middle-class
sidetracked. I told you there are 3 reasons. I'll finish the 3 reasons.
Yeah.
You're the worst interviewer I've met in my whole life. It's
Worst.
shocking. The second reason is that you could be aggressive and it was lauded. You were congratulated. Now, when you're a 14-year-old, 15-year-old boy, all you have is aggression.
Right.
So you just let it go on that field and it was legitimate. It was fantastic, Cyrus. And the third thing is, and I think you might back me on this, because your sister was 2 batches lower than me, Giselle.
Above?
No.
Oh, lower?
No.
Fuck. Alzheimer's. What do I remember? How do you remember her name? It's tough. Giselle.
Every time, when I broke my nose for the first time,
Yeah.
the prettiest girls in school, and I said Giselle because she would know all the girls because they were from her batch and in and around her batch, they were all around my hospital bed. And I was like,
How sweet.
so then I broke my nose 3 more times in the hope
You
that
break it yourself.
every time I wouldn't
You'd go home and smack
every
into
time I
something.
wouldn't get, I would just break my nose, but that didn't work after that.
So this is a shout out to all the young males who go out there and play some rugby. You'll get some female attention.
3 of the worst reasons to play any sport.
Yeah.
Of course, after that.
No, I think the aggression reason is fantastic because males need to take out that aggression.
Yeah.
You can't misbehave, with people on the road like Aberas and Abiras.
And you don't.
No, I don't. But they fight with old women and lose, and it's embarrassing. All the time, every day. But if you played rugby, get out of your system, 1-2 hours of that, your testosterone levels are normal again, and just behave like a human being. On the field, and then off the field, you're, I would think, a better person. Is that true? Fair to say?
It cannot be more true about rugby people.
Yeah.
The gentlest, kindest, most chilled out people are rugby guys. When you see them on the field, I'm watching the best players in the world right now. You have to understand it's so surreal for me as the rugby player to walk around these 2 fields where the training is going on, and the most talented athletes on earth. I mean, over 30 meters, they're going to be faster than the fastest 100-meter runner in the world today.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's a great point, no? We never look at sprint from a really small distance because we don't know who's the fastest guy over a really short distance where the speed is unbelievable. 15, 20 meters.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, we should do that. That's your next project.
Done.
Let's do it like 25 meter sprint.
So when I'm
He just ignored me and moved on.
when I'm watching these people,
It's like Aisha. It's like, when the kid is there and kid says anything and nobody even pays attention. Yeah.
I have to plug this.
Go ahead, yeah.
Mumbai will try anything once. And if you...
Politically speaking.
Yeah, no. I mean, Cyrus, why don't you just let me finish my plug?
Because we have. We really have. I'm so sorry. Guru,
As
back
Mumbaikars,
on
we'll try anything once.
Yeah.
If it jives with us, we'll stick with it. If it doesn't, we'll never go back again. And the second thing is we love our sport. Okay, any sport you can think of, from gully cricket to kabaddi, it finds its roots, and then it's hard to shake that from here. For example, even basketball in regions like Baikal, I remember when I was growing up.
Still?
Yeah. So still so strong. I just want this city to give this sport that chance. If it gives the sport that chance, if they come to Andheri Sports Complex 1 or 2 days out of the 15, guaranteed that it's going to stick. It's, the local train. Okay, when you're getting into a local train, you see it, like, I'll never get in. So you let 3 trains pass by. But if you
take that plunge
and you go in there and you use your elbows and your shoulders and stuff, you'll be sucked in, absorbed, and then somebody will grudgingly give you half an inch and look the other way.
Or in my case, a police complaint because women's compartment is only for women and you shouldn't have boarded the train. But
that's true.
Shit happens.
So I think that is what I'm going to be asking through your show. I'm going to be asking Mumbai for. Just give us that little space. And if you like us, otherwise throw us off the train.
No, but there's a big point in the beginning you mentioned, which is tribalism, which can be a negative also. But here it's a very positive thing in sport.
Yeah.
Where you get, look, my son is from Mulbai, South Mumbai boy, who loves Liverpool. And all over the world there's all these connections, which don't make sense if you think about it. But it's there and it's huge, the passion.
Yeah.
You can't question the passion. You can question why, but I can show you kids from across the world who are following different teams in different
It's
sports.
an emotion that
It's
they
an emotion.
identify.
The bond is ridiculous.
Yeah, they feel that they know that club and that club is...
He says we and all. When they start talking like that, we are playing tonight. We, you're a Walkeshwar boy. You got nothing to do with North of England. There's no contact.
Correct.
But they have it. I think once that happens, we're in.
And don't forget that last story. And it's a slightly... It's melodramatic.
Huh.
Which is our Indian boys, like all rugby boys today in the country and girls and women, all of them come from the poorest strata of society. Nobody like you and me plays rugby anymore for India. So
I'm not doing that well, Rahul.
Yeah, well...
I feel a little uncomfortable with this label.
Nobody like me.
I feel like a fraud. So they don't come in the...
That melodrama, that beautiful moment.
The sapna of being realized of...
And to stand next to
the biggest names.
Incredible,
Who are these names? Give us some names. Tell us about it.
Perry Baker from the US. You just have to look these guys up. They've been on World Cup winning teams. They've been on Olympic winning teams. They've been World Rugby Players of the Year. Harry McNulty from Ireland. I'm just giving you a few names without... I don't want to piss off everyone.
Let's see if we can put the pictures up. They're all big, tough boys, huh?
No, they're incredible. I mean, you have some very, very exciting players also. Henry Hutchinson. What can I say? I mean, it's just... My God, Jerry Tuai from Fiji. There's Roscoe Speckman from South Africa. It's just, it's really, really, it's the best. It's so exciting. And even the 6 coaches are like the Gary Kirsten, Ricky Ponting, Rahul Dravid, Gautam Gambhir. It's that class of coaches. And then you have the Indian guys. One of our boys many of our boys, tribal village in Odisha.
Oh, nice.
Ran out of money. He was a construction laborer in Chennai.
How do you find the talent though?
Seriously, it's another story. Or for that matter, there's this boy who was a Mathari worker in Maharashtra. And I remember going to one of our captains, under 20 captains, home in Panhala. The last kilometer you have to walk. In India, if you really want to go there. And the whole village was out. So I said, who's coming? They said, you're coming.
Oh, nice.
I said, don't be ridiculous. They said, nobody's come here for 50 years. And then they swept me in, and we sat in the village temple, and the whole village was there. Little kids in the front, screaming and shouting. The ladies at the back, the hoodlums next to me on the stage. You know how it is. And I realized that if this boy had to continue playing rugby, we needed the permission and the buy-in of the entire village. That's how it works. Now, these boys are going to be standing in 5 days from now, 7 days from now, on the 15th at Andheri Sports Complex in front of the whole world. With next, it's
from where to where.
Wow.
Yeah.
I
can see the goosebumps, but that's I'm asking you because growing up, you always sort of got this terrible tag here only in India of elite sport and the rich playing it, blah blah blah. And you yourself, come from a certain society. And now we've been able to sort of, move away
180
by
degrees.
telling the story exactly. So it's amazing that you've done that, and then it opens up to this country of 1 billion.
Let me say very clearly, I didn't do it. Well, I carried it on. 2003
take the credit, Rahul. You're here now. I don't want to name other people.
2003 is when it started, and we've built on it. And today, out of 760 districts in this country, rugby is played in 322 districts. 40% of India plays rugby.
Right.
I'm exaggerating. But if you go to 40% of India and you shout rugby, somebody's hand will come up. 322 districts, that's potentially 600 million people.
That's more than many countries of the world.
Yeah.
Including the rugby countries.
It's about 10 UKs and about...
10 UKs!
And about 28 Australias.
What we've done a bit. Yeah. But there's a complaint, it's a very local question now, and I apologize because you may not understand what we're talking about here, but I have to get this off my chest. One of our greats, Azad Maidan's finest rugby player, Mukadam Fazal Boy, has not been chosen. May I ask why?
First of all, his name is not Mukadam. His name is Mukarram.
Mukarram.
And I'm sure that you've already lost a friend already by saying that.
He'll never speak to me again. And I meet him every day.
He'll never speak to you again.
But how sad. No BG boys make the cut.
No, anymore. This entire thing is biased.
Yeah.
all of it is favoritism.
Fair.
There's no sense. All this thing I'm talking
What's
about.
the point of being the
Indian
president?
Rugby,
yeah, you got to do what you got to do.
It's all bias.
Yeah.
No, but Cyrus, I can't tell you how that moment is. Whatever happens, and I know that Mumbai will never ever will not be let down, even on television. It's just I have a very good sense of this. But whatever happens, this moment, when you forget about me, and I honestly, truthfully, in all honesty, I don't give a toss if nobody remembers my role in this. But this moment for sport in a country which is discovering new sports, this moment is a moment that it'll be the start of something else.
So Andheri Sports Complex on the 15th. Why did you choose Andheri Sports Complex? Is there...
The ground, fantastic ground.
It's the best, is it?
The MFA ground there.
You've got to be careful of these things because of the tackling and wackling and all that happens.
It's a world-class ground.
So what do you need? A softish but yet hard enough?
Level ground, soft, slightly soft underfoot with great grass cushioning. But the grass cushioning should be between 18 and 21 millimeters. It's all very, all of that.
And when the
stuff.
rain comes, what happens? The game slows down.
Not really, Cyrus, until it really, really waterlogs. But that never happens with this ground. It's got superb drainage.
Yeah.
The rain's not going to be a problem. If ever there is lightning, that you have to get off the field because human beings are great conductors of lightning.
Oh, is that true?
Yeah. So
I don't want to brag, but I've worked out on my terrace with lightning and thunder all the time.
That's because
Metal.
that's because your family hasn't told you.
I fell into that one.
And they've been hoping. Yes, Dad.
That was a bad setup.
Dad, there'll be lightning. You'll get good lighting
Can you
also.
imagine?
While you're working out, you'll be lit. You'll be lit.
Rahul,
beautifully.
your dad and me. We should have had some logical arguments.
I can imagine my father meeting you and saying, "Who's this fella?"
Yeah.
Like my father said. And he said, "What is this Nasri rhyme? YOLO, YOLO, dirty fella." I said, "Baba, it's yellow, yellow, dirty fellow." Oh, YOLO, YOLO, dirty fella. So he didn't understand how it rhymed. Do you understand the joke now? YOLO, YOLO, dirty fella. Where is the rhyme?
That's fair. If it doesn't rhyme in your head, I mean, you've been ripped off for years. Some stupid teacher's telling you this is a rhyme. There's no rhyme.
And the thing is that I cannot think of a father and son who were more close.
Yeah.
God, I worshipped him.
Yeah.
And of course, you asked me the rugby question. He loved his son so much that
He picked up the game.
for 30 years, whenever he entered the Bombay Gymkhana club and the field was on the left, he wouldn't look.
For fear
Yeah.
of you getting injured.
Yeah. When I remember we played Kazakhstan.
What are your worst injuries? Tell us. And I'm trying to glamorize the game here, but there's also you wear it like a badge.
Broken my nose 4 times.
Broken your nose. And considering you're an actor, and that's the one thing you shouldn't break.
Yeah. So
then-
broken my nose 4 times. Operations in my knees 3 times. I have only 2 knees, but once I did it twice, just in case you got confused.
Yeah, I know. For a second, it was a challenge question. Yeah. 3 knee operations. 1 extra step knee. Yeah.
Or operations in 3 knees.
Yeah,
The
then?
3 knee.
No shoulder, though.
Yes, 1 rotator cuff. It's still torn.
Yeah.
5 fingers broken.
Yeah.
And
I've seen Rahul at the bar, Bombay Gym bar, when we used to drink milk in the old days, post one of these games when he's injured and head bandage and all that. And it's an amazing, it's almost like you're acting in a movie or something because you come with like makeup and all in a sense.
It's crazy. I'm looking for a photograph to show your audiences.
Yeah.
But why did we move to this?
No, I'm just trying to, the game for those who don't know, and I hope people go to Andheri Sports Complex, I'm sure they will. $49 a ticket, less than 100 is the most expensive. Please go and see it to experience all this because it's the closest to gladiators in a sense. You're getting there. There's a glamour to it. The injuries and all are part of the whole thing. But from a testosterone sort of male point of view, this is the most manly game.
And
I would
then,
think.
and I don't want to talk about the people from the
Without being toxic, yeah.
Hindi film industry, but they're going to be there too.
Oh, really? Good.
Of course. I mean,
You did mention Farhan and
Abhishek,
huh?
Sunil, Vidya, Balan. Lots of people have confirmed that they're coming for the games.
We need that. In India, that's how you promote.
They'll come because they know me. We have a great relationship and stuff like that. So it's not one of those. What is he doing here? It's more like, okay, they're coming here because they want to support Rahul, etc., etc. But I think that it's not a way to tempt the crowd in. That's not the rugby way. That's not what we do. It's just join us. Everybody join us. So I'll be calling people from the sports world. I already have, people that you and I know really well, and just get everybody together in a, Abhinav, Bindra and Anil Kumble, and just get people to come in there and enjoy, literally.
If suddenly you have an injury and you're one short for whatever reason, can an actor who's not working, like say Paresh Rawal, can he play then?
Play what? No, because you've used Paresh's name, who I've worked with.
You won't let me go.
Who's such
I'm going to be butcher.
Who's such a
the butchering is starting, boys.
phenomenal actor.
I'm setting up a small gag here, and he's gone on his phone to find the injury, which we'll put in post anyway. Can you? Oh my God! Can you? Can you see that? I just showed you any one cam and he'll close. Wow, it looks like spouse abuse also, in a sense. I mean, just speaking from experience.
So
Both
yeah,
eyes.
I think.
Have you been punched fully in the face while playing?
How do you think I broke my nose? Someone blew on my
I know, I
nose?
thought you fell on the nose.
I mean, I just...
You've got a big nose, let's face it.
This kind of... this ridiculously low level... He used to be bright, in school.
Yeah, I used to be.
When he did Brighton Beach Memoirs, his first play ever with Pearl Padamsee, he was such a bright kid and it was so exciting to see this 16-year-old.
14. But Jugal Hansraj changed all that. I started taking Nutramul, and after that, it's all over the place. And it's a great product. Love it.
It's just, as my father would say, boy is going downhill. He used to tell my sister every week, boy is going downhill.
About you?
Yeah.
Yeah, because in Bengali there's a gender issue also, so I'm not sure. That's also there. Yeah. He get trapped in LBW.
But he said boy.
Yeah, he does a lot of that.
If he had said he is going downhill, it could have been open to my grandmother or
So boy is clear, he or she is not clear.
He or she is not clear.
Fair.
I have told that story about
I love that story. I think it was the best stories ever. God. He just brings people down to earth again. Yeah.
I mean, no, the one way he's narrating the story about the...
Huh?
I haven't told the story.
Just say it again.
Narrating the story about what happens in the scene. It's a very important scene.
Say.
I haven't said this. Oh my God, you got to use this. I'm with this very, very famous Bengali director.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting at the JW Marriott, which has tables exactly this size, which are fairly large tables, right? And in a noisy coffee shop, he's narrating the film to me.
Yeah.
And I'm going to... okay, so I can't change the frame, all of that.
No, move the mic. It'll still pick you up. Huh.
He says... and he's a bit soft-spoken and a little bit... So as it is, I'm leaning forward. I'm leaning forward like this, very politely, pretending I'm not leaning forward.
Pick up the...
Yeah, like it's so exciting. Then he says, Akon, Shono, it's a most important sin. Not the 7 deadly sins, this is the most important sin.
S-C-E-N-E.
A khoob important sin. You, your wife, your dead father, who is, he lives in front of my eyes, and your girlfriend, mistress. এই চারজন তোমরা এক ঘরে আছো, you're in a room. And একবারে এই বলে কি, why are you looking at her? So I'm like, why am I looking at my wife? Nah, why you're looking at your father? And father is saying, please, don't look at me, please look at him. Who's the him? Dada, ekhane to duto bhodromela ache, 2 ladies are here. He says, why you're not looking at your wife? And then she is saying, but why he's doing that? And he's saying, and I just lost it. Who's the she? Who's the he? Because I said...
Did you do the movie?
Huh?
Did you do the film?
It's a very fine film.
Yeah.
And she walks out. I said, oh, my wife or my mistress? Your father walks out. Like, what is going on here? And he's telling me, most important sin. If you don't get this, you don't get the role. And I'm just weeping there, trying to see who is who. Finally, he says, I love you.
You didn't correct
him.
him.
My father? He says, nah, tomar mistress.
You didn't bother correcting him. You didn't challenge the hims and the hers.
But when I was asking questions, do you mean the father?
Yeah.
Do you mean he was getting more and more irate? Can't you get it?
How can you be so stupid?
How can you be so stupid? What is wrong with you?
How do you not know your genders?
How can you not? Am I talking to somebody? Should I cast you?
What's his name?
Huh? I can't. I can't. I knew you would do this.
Please.
I can't.
What's the film name?
I can't.
Bengali film which you made. Tell us the name now. It's a sweet story, Rahul. Why will they take offense?
It's a lovely story.
It's a nice story. All right, we have to wrap up. Before we do you have time for 5 more minutes? I want to ask you 2 cricket questions. Rohit and Virat. What does Rahul feel about the contributions of 2, possibly the best batsmen of their generation, in the last generation? One in all forms, for sure.
I'll be very honest. I think they both had a couple of years in them. Seriously.
For red ball?
Yes. At least, I mean, maybe Rohit, his decision has come post the Australian tour, etc. And I know that Virat had it also, but I don't know, especially Virat, I feel that, man, I felt a couple of seasons more. But both took me by surprise.
Yeah, that's what it was. They didn't look like they were going to retire.
No,
it looked like
one had a season and one had a couple of seasons.
Yeah.
But I think, having said that, better to retire when people say why as opposed to why not.
That's
as
all
what
true.
Sunil
But
Gavaskar said.
for the greats, you always think, especially in cricket, that the farewell, if it was at the Oval, if you couldn't do it in India because India's season is November, Oval would have been great. Desi population is huge, blah, blah, blah. If one was to go out that way, they'd get their fanfare.
I don't care about the farewell. I care about the fact that I really believe that they had, between them, they had 3 or 4 years.
Between them, yeah.
I really
Fair
feel
call.
that.
Tough
And
So you won't say invest in youth the Australian way, and they just cut you off when the time is right.
can you
That's it.
can you see people pushing them out of the way? Earlier you could.
In the white ball format, in T20 it's already happened. In white ball format, 50 overs, I could understand if they said don't play 50 overs.
But
because
is
2 years
anybody
to go.
is it overwhelmingly embarrassing? And I won't mention
No,
other
no,
Indian
no,
cricketers
no.
where you said, please go. This guy is much better than you as a bowler or a
both
batsman.
their records in 50 overs is out of.
I mean,
can't even touch it.
No, even in red ball, was somebody pushing them out
Red
of the
ball,
way?
the last 1 year and a half, not such great averages.
Agreed. But is somebody pushing them out of the way? Are you saying, come on, this is embarrassing? You're leading this guy out. He's missed.
No, but the
10
selector's
tests
point,
because of you.
point is I have to blood someone, no? It's not like pushing them from a first class point of view, not really. Maybe Karuna deserves to be in the
Fine,
team.
but they retired.
Hmm.
It's not that they were not.
We don't know.
No,
Here the podcast, Cyrus says, we will investigate this matter. India, we will not let you down. In the words of my uncle Arnab, India needs to know the answer.
No, I'm absolutely sure they retired. I'm
without any pressure.
No, without any pressure. I'm 100.
Nobody
I'm 99%
nudged
sure.
them.
No, there's in cricketing terms, it would completely not be feasible now. A season or 2 seasons later, if you had said that to me, I would agree. I refuse to believe that there was any kind of pressure being put because it's just not reasonable. It's not right.
It was against the run of play, no doubt about that. We all caught off guard. But let's go back to rugby because he suddenly has to leave, is to meet all kinds of powerful political figures, all kinds of people that you have to meet when you do a thing like this. I'm not the only powerful figure he's meeting. So it's 15 June onwards.
15 June to 29 June.
Go online
Sunday
to bookmyshow.com.
Exactly. You can also buy tickets
The old-fashioned way.
at the stadium,
Yeah.
no problem.
Yeah.
And it's a short 2 hour. For 2 hours, you can come in there. You will watch 2 or 3 games.
Yeah.
And it's non-stop action. Very easy to understand, but incredibly exciting. I promise you, incredibly exciting. Give it one shot, Mumbai. Give it one shot.
Go ahead, watch the game. Take your friends, take your family. Everybody can enjoy the game. 7:45 to 9:45, let's say, but 7 to 10 is what you should keep as your window. And
Please buy Cyrus the tickets because he's never going to buy them.
I'm not going to buy. But do we get popcorn and other things on the Sports Complex? What's the food like? Bro, I have to speak from the point of view of the spectators.
I'll put it to you this way. There is unlimited buffet for dancing girls.
ठीक है. In the words of my red Red Mardi. Teach me, master. Teach me, Mardi. Teach me how to say it. Come on. Red.
I can't do this.
You can't do this. Mardi. Boys, how do you say it? Mardi.
You know, you are one of the most shockingly brought up human beings I've met in my whole life. It is every time I come and meet you and I walk away feeling so good about myself. It's
the theory of relativity.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with me. I'm one of the shining beacons of human morality.
You're putting a spot on the
human
map.
decency.
Look at what you're doing. I'm trying to find an Uber. I mean, it's a very different life. Look at the clothes you're wearing. Rahul, I haven't seen you in a suit, I think, ever.
No, yeah.
On screen, yes, but I've never seen you.
Yeah.
I can't think. Do you know that he used to wear basically the shortest shorts, what we call the Gary Lineker shorts? Have you seen that? You have seen that, right? Because he comes from another world where those were the shorts of the day, and they stuck with them. They still have those shorts.
You still have those shorts, not mine, yours.
I spent one night with the same Bengali director. There was some confusion about who was to sleep with who. These things happen.
Cyrus is tired, she's sleeping.
All right, we've got to stop it there. But again, bookmyshow.com or go to Andheri Sports Complex. 15 to 29 is Sunday to Sunday, 2 Sundays away. 7 to 10 is your time. That's all it's going to take. And just test it, check it out and see what happens. And support a team. Once again, the teams are Mumbai, Delhi.
Delhi, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai, Bhubaneswar.
Okay, there you go. And in Bhubaneswar, there's a stadium named after Rahul Bose called the Rahul Bose Stadium. It's got something else.
In that way, you're very good at putting two things together. There is a stadium named after Rahul Bose. It's called the...
But you never know. It could be, the name could have Rahul Bose with a few other words like Shriman, Rahul, Bose G Stadium.
The absolute idiot stadium or something. What would it be called?
Hey, have you ever taken a selfie outside the Rahul Bose Stadium? It would be fun. If I had a stadium, I'd spend a whole day there. I'd be like, hey guys, take a picture.
Somebody said it should be on your dating profile. I said,
For me, I know this rugby is huge and you're putting it on the map and I'm sure it's going to do well and all that. But for me, that is your biggest accomplishment. To imagine being a boy from, Nepean Sea Road who's got a friggin' stadium named after him. The guys who don't like you, Rahul, that's what they hate the most. Because that's something they'll never get. Yeah.
it's so surreal
Yeah.
when I have kids saying that I learnt rugby at the Rahul Bose Rugby Stadium. It still hasn't sunk in 3 years
It's
later.
fantastic having your own stadium, bro. Can you imagine now you can have weddings there and make even more money? Support rugby.
Thank you, boys. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. It's been
15
wonderful.
June, the RPL, be there. This man's vision, but I think we can see something spectacular. Too much cricket.
Cyrus says every time, Cyrus says, जब ये कहे तुम सुनो, please.
तमीज से बात करना है ना, important people यार.